Hi, my name is Sasha, and this is my final project where I'm going to be answering two questions. The first, what are the cultural and communication barriers to international successful negotiation? And how do we overcome them, given my reasoning on the key strategies for it? And the second, about explaining how emotional intelligence might be used during an international business negotiation effectively, constructively, and positively. About the first question, nowadays intercultural negotiations are more common than what they used to be in the past, but as well the cultural clashes are getting more common because of the cultural and communication barriers that may exist during an international negotiation. This type of negotiations across cultural barriers can significantly expand any organization and, of course, bring great benefits as well, but it is important to know how to overcome those barriers because it can cause misunderstandings that may arise from the language, cultural barriers, conflicts as well based on cultural differences, and even accidental violations of another's cultural norms, and this can come up from time to time. That's why I'm going to be mentioning some ways to overcome these barriers and how they are going to help to make the most of the cross-cultural business negotiations. The first way is to make a research about the other party's culture, including becoming aware of the culture's customs, rituals, and taboos, and so on. Something as simple as knowing how to greet with a handshake or with a bow can make the difference. The second way is to focus on getting to know the other party as a unique individual to better understand him and his behavior at key moments during your business negotiation. As well, instead of relying on stereotypes, try to focus on cultural prototypes, and as well being aware of the own cultural prototype can help you to anticipate how the other party might interpret your behavior in the negotiation. Another tip is to study the interest that motivate the other party to carry out the negotiation and emphasize it so that the meeting does not lead to a more complex situation. Another important aspect is the language, because if you do not understand or speak the language of the other person that is part of the negotiation, then try to take the negotiation into a more universal language, for example the English, or as well you can get an interpreter that you trust so that you can be understood. When negotiating across cultures, we bring different perspectives to the negotiating table, which in turn can lead to a potential misunderstanding and less chance for both parties to explore and discover integrative and value creating solutions. But by taking into consideration these different ways to overcome the cultural barriers, it can lead to a successful international negotiation. And now, answering to the second question, a good negotiator must have the ability to understand and lead the other party along the most convenient path for both of them, and the emotional intelligence is the best way to achieve it. Through emotional intelligence, negotiators recognize their own emotions and learn how to manage them, and also they know how to interpret and relate to the feelings of the others, obtaining an advantage basically in all domains in life, in personal and work relationships. Some of the benefits of learning how to apply and applying the emotional intelligence during international negotiations is that first, through emotional intelligence, the negotiator develops professionally and personally. As well, negotiators who know their emotional intelligence improves it, and they will be developing the ability to recognize their feelings and those of others, knowing how to separate people from the problems to be negotiated. As well, the people who have developed their emotional intelligence as well tend to feel more satisfied and more effective. And on the other hand, it increases the understanding of the parties by understanding the position of the other. That way, it improves their ability to resolve conflicts that can arise from attitudes, and as well increases their communication capacity. At the end of the day, a good negotiator is the one that is always enjoying the negotiating process and seeks to reach the best possible agreement for both of them. But the difference between a successful and an unsuccessful negotiator often revolves around fundamental dimensions of emotional intelligence, and even more when we are talking about international negotiation, because what the negotiator wants is to understand the other party's position and to always be one step ahead of them.